All right, everyone, we start off today with a rather insane story here. There are people that don't see a problem with this. Link in the description, archived, of course. Joe Biden has completely lost it. He was telling a story the other day, and the story is so crazy that the fact checkers on multiple sites had to tell people, no, this is not actually a deep fake. This is actually a real clip from a Biden speech. It's that confusing. Like, this nation is falling apart like a homemade pocket pussy if this dude doesn't get 25th at this point. He's lost it. He's bananas. He told a story, a miniature story, about his time back in the 1980s when he had surgery at Walter Reed for brain aneurysm. So he had to have that shit checked out. He had brain surgery, which may have led to some cognitive issues already back in the late 80s, but they didn't become super apparent until the last couple of years, so we'll give him a pass at the time. And he says, well, those nurses, man, they're something else. It was like a scene from Animaniacs, hello nurse, something like that. He's like, they were doing some stuff there that I don't think that they learned in medical school, and she used to whisper in my ear, and I won't use her proper name here because, for all I know, she's still alive or something. She used to whisper in my ear, whisper sweet nothings. She brought me a pillow from her own home to lay on. This is Joe Biden recounting this. When I first saw it, I assumed it was a deep fake too. I said, wow, the deep fake technology is really getting to be quite something there now, isn't it? Looks totally real. Sounds totally plausible. And it's so off the chain, I said, well, it's also plausible Joe did say something like this. Let's fact check a little further. I was actually genuinely surprised that it wasn't a deep fake, that somebody hadn't slapped something really great together just to troll the Biden bots, the Biden babies. It's actually real. He really said this, and he's not getting panned, and it's Women's History Month. On Women's History Month, he's recounting the nurse that used to whisper into his ear and do things she didn't learn in medical school. By the way, that is definitely an insinuation that there was something else other than whispering into his ear to make sure there was human contact or something. I think the basic gist is he's trying to praise the medical community there, I guess partially as a foil for Fetterman. He's at Walter Reed right now. I guess he's getting whispered to at the moment now too. Unfortunately, he hears it like the voices from Peanuts apparently, so it's not going to do much for him. Hey Joe, did the nurse do other things for you? Other favors other than literally bringing you her own pillow from home, supposedly? And I don't know if I believe that happened. Joe's known for his hyperbolic bullshit. Did she help you a little bit too much? You're on bed rest, you have to use one of those little plastic things to pee in. Was there a little bit of extra help given? Was there a shaking of the shed or something like that? Was this nurse El Pervo or something like that? What the fuck are you talking about? Why are the other members of his party not addressing that this is inappropriate to say and optically poor? Like, even if you don't care one iota, thank you, Kitty, even if you don't care one iota about the ethics of it, so in a medical situation, you got this person claiming, wow, this nurse was something else and doing all this shit, which would be a breach of protocol, at the very least, in a medical context. Even if you don't give a shit about that, think about the optics of the leader of your party. I realize he's a puppet and a steward, but he's the de facto leader on paper. Coming out and saying such a thing, again, right at the beginning of Women's History Month, too. Like, there have got to be some people that raised their eyebrows a little bit. Now, I know Orange Man bad, Biden better, therefore Biden perfect, and all of this other hyperbolic propagandistic nonsense. Don't you have enough problems going on in the world today where when the person who supposedly conducts chief diplomacy for your nation is saying off-the-wall things like this, you have a little bit of concern and care for it? Because I'm seeing a lot of people, their eyes glaze over, like, well, but Trump said this other thing 3 years ago, or something like that. Well, it could be worse. The Trump-hand Z could be running things. How much cognitive dissonance have you smoked today? How many drugs are you on? Got to be something for your psychiatric condition at some point. This is creepy. When I see it, I don't say, oh, there's old Joe up to his old man tricks again. He's talking about how he got a little feisty with one of the nurses. Oh, he's one of the good old boys. That's, I think, how he thinks of it because he's got Alzheimer's. I don't consider it that way. I see it as creepy, especially with his behavior with women in general, in public, being Clinton levels of schmooze, and even more creepy and touchy-feely, arguably, than Bubba Bill himself. I see it as creepy when he's then recounting this kind of story. It's sort of like the allegations against Bill O'Reilly years ago that led to him being ousted from Fox. And according to them, one part of one conversation, a lewd and lascivious conversation he was having with another person at Fox, trying to hit her up basically and sleep with her. He said something about how he went to, I think it was Thailand, and a little lady showed him things that you would never believe or something like that. And it's creepy also in the context of thinking of someone who's, Bill was in his 60s at the time, speaking in that manner. It's even creepier somehow when it's a person who is now more than 80 years old. It's creepy. He's a creepy old man. Let's just put it the way that it really is. I understand there was an attempt at humor. Can his staff please tell him not to go off the script and attempt humor? Because it's beginning to annoy people, and it isn't just people who didn't like Biden to begin with. I don't like his policies. I don't like his track record. I'm just not a fan. Even for people who are more on the fence, they're like, well, yeah, he's done some good, some bad, standard president or something. They've got to take a look at this and take issue with it. Instead, what we got was a massive butt-covering AstroTurf campaign to claim that the clip wasn't real, to the point where it had to be fact-checked. The fact-checkers that normally defend Biden from top to bottom and are too busy making false comparisons with the previous administration, nowhere to be found as far as defending Biden on this one. That's because it's friggin' indefensible. There's no way that I can construe what he's saying here. Take a look at it yourself. Archived link in the description. There's no way that I can possibly construe this other than being weird and creepy and pervy. And, I mean, I've gotten used to that from the Biden administration. It's not like it hasn't happened before, but Jesus Christ, this one is more beyond the pale than usual. This is worse than randomly hugging and sniffing the hair of a staffer or something. Okay, that's like a 3 out of 10 on the Biden creepy scale at this point. This has got to be like at a 7 or an 8. That's about all. Peace out.